Many guys are completely lost when it comes to attracting women. Not too long ago, I was that guy myself. Although after everything I've learned about women and how much my life has changed as a result, it seems like another lifetime. And this is good news for you. Because if I was able to learn how to attract women as needy and insecure as I was back then you can learn how too. My name's Artisan from The Attractive Man, and I'm going to show you how to attract women effortlessly.
I'm Matt. He has mastered the art of seduction.
Many boot camps encourage men to be assertive.
A woman wants to be turned on. We've done all the testing and we know what works. Now, I'm going to start off by giving you a conceptual overview of how to attract gorgeous women into your life using energy polarity. And then I'll get more concrete, giving you 3 practical tips that you can use right away to become more attractive. And it's important that you understand the first part in order to build context for the 3 actionable tips later on. Alright, let's dive in. Did you ever play with magnets as a kid? If you did, then you're probably familiar with the concept of polarity attraction. Magnets have 2 poles, right? A positive and a negative. If you put 2 of the same poles together, they repel each other. But if you put 2 opposite poles together, a positive and a negative, they attract each other. The same concept applies to attracting women. Like magnets, humans have polarities, masculine and feminine. Unfortunately, masculine traits such as aggression, assertiveness, and dominance are often demonized by our society. This and a few other contributing factors leads to a culture of wimpy and effeminate men who, according to the law of energy polarity, can only attract masculine, dominant women, not the alluring, more feminine women that you probably desire. Much of attracting the women that you actually want in your life comes down to embracing and deepening this masculine polarity that is your birthright. Now, this can be a daunting task because it takes a lot of retraining your behavior and your belief system. However, once you're rooted in the solid foundation of your masculine energy, not only will you feel amazing, but gorgeous women will flock to you because they want to bask in the presence of your masculine energy with almost no effort on your part. In fact, all the techniques in the world can't replace the effortless attraction that being rooted in your masculine polarity provides. So what are these masculine traits that women find so attractive? And how can you go about developing them? Well, to understand the answers to these questions, it helps to step into the shoes of the woman you want. While men are primarily focused on physical attraction when it comes to dating, at least initially, women are a lot more physically fragile than men and largely depend on the physical and psychological strength of a man for protecting her. Not only do their instincts look for protection, they also seek provision, giving women an ingrained desire to be around men with high social status. Men with higher status have more access to resources such as food, shelter, and allies, and can therefore better ensure her survival and that of her offspring. If you're thinking this all sounds kinda caveman-esque, well, you're right. These traits have been hardwired into the female psyche over hundreds of generations of female evolution, and you're not gonna change it. So the best thing you can do is develop the masculine polarity traits that will trigger a woman's deeply ingrained evolutionary bias. To get a better understanding of what type of behavior masculine polarity traits would include, think about the way Conor McGregor handles himself during MMA press conferences and matches. He comes across as assertive, strong-willed, and even aggressive when needed. He's not timid and doesn't shy away from calling people on their shit. You get the feeling watching him that he's confident in his ability to handle himself against all opponents and probably wouldn't hesitate to throw a punch if the situation called for it. Now, obviously, if you want to attract a girl, the last thing you want to do is get in a fist fight. However, when you're able to project a sense of dominance and grounded confidence that comes willed from being able to stand up for yourself in all scenarios, women can't help but take notice of you. So now we know that the shortcut for attracting women is developing high status masculine polarity traits. And now we kind of have an idea of what that looks like in a man, but just knowing that information is not enough. In order to develop attractive traits, you need to practice these behaviors until they become ingrained into who you are. That means creating specific, measurable goals. just like you would in any other area of your life or a skill set. Do this with the following masculine traits, and I guarantee you'll have more gorgeous women in your life than you ever imagined. Now let me give you my top 3 masculine high status traits. And first, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon because I want to let you know every time we come out with awesome new videos. Okay, number 3 is high status body language. When you've developed the masculine polarity traits, you'll naturally find yourself expressing those traits through your words and your body language, indicating your high status automatically. Conveniently, it also works the other way around. Using high status body language causes you to feel a sense of confidence, dominance, masculine presence, and higher status within yourself. Remember that your psychology influences your physiology, and your physiology influences your psychology. Here are some high status body language keys to keep in mind. You gotta have solid eye contact because high status men do not shy away from eye contact. When you meet a woman's gaze, do so with calm, grounded, laser-like eye contact. You don't want it to feel creepy or intense, rather you want it to feel comfortable and relaxed. Have deliberate movements. Avoid fidgeting, jerking, or sudden movements, as those indicate emotional distress associated with low status. Instead, make slow, deliberate movements that project an air of calm confidence. And finally, being non-reactive. In a social interaction, the high status individual is the one that others are reacting to, not the other way around. So avoid physically reacting to other people. Now, that doesn't mean you ignore them. It just means you take your time to deliberately respond to them on your terms. For example, last night I was writing my book, which is one of my biggest goals and missions right now is to finish this book, and my girlfriend came in trying to get my attention, but I'm so focused in the zone, I had to get my, the rest of my thoughts out before I turned and responded to her. In any and all interactions throughout your day, begin to notice your body language. Is it high status and dominant, or is it low status and submissive? And of course, make those adjustments accordingly. Number 2 is become a leader. And this has 2 parts to it. Number 1 is become a leader of self. It means you're living life deliberately based on your terms and your values. Most people actually live a life that other people wanted for them, and they're living somebody else's values. Oftentimes their parents. In fact, I did that for a long time. When I went to college and studied computer science, it was only because that's what my parents told me to do, and it's what they told me to study. And then after college, get a 9-to-5 job, which I did, and I wasn't really happy. It wasn't until I started this career and helping guys overcome fear and anxiety, that's when I started really becoming happy. And then I almost gave it all up again to live somebody else's values when about 6 years ago, my fiance at the time wanted us to move back to North Carolina, where I was originally from, and I went to high school, and live closer to my family and work for my family business and eventually become, really high up in the business or maybe even the owner. And it's a great business. It's huge. I would be making a ton of money, have a really safe job because, my family's probably not going to fire me unless I do something horrible, and have this gorgeous, girlfriend who loved me very much. But I realized it's not what I wanted. It wasn't my values. It was somebody else's values. It was her values. And I had to make a decision. Do I want this life or not? And I ended up giving it all up. I ended up breaking up with my fiance and saying no to that job and moving out of the country. And I've never lived back in the US since then. And that was definitely one of the most important, hardest, and best decision that I ever made. You only have one life, so you gotta live the life that you want. So what are your highest values? What are the things that are most important to you? And are you doing those things? If not, it might be time for a change and start living life deliberately on your terms with a clear purpose. And second is leader of others. Men that are leaders are incredibly attractive to women, because the fact that others are willing to follow your lead indicates your high status. And it makes it a lot easier for you to meet and attract women. Becoming the leader of your social circle is actually pretty simple. It's just a little bit more effort than the average Joe is willing to put in. Simply start planning events that are centered around your interests and just invite others to attend. This can be huge, epic parties, or it can be just a small get-together. It doesn't really matter. What's important is that you lead your social circle in a way that makes people feel good about following your plan. And number 1 is calm under tension. A masculine, high-status man does not break under pressure. Think of the hero of pretty much any action movie where he kills the bad guy and gets the girl at the end. He's usually very masculine and he's not freaking out despite all the danger that's happening, right? Who's the one that's freaking out? It's the other characters, and they usually die. But not the hero. He remains calm and he takes control of the situation. The same kind of idea applies for women. Just approaching a woman is an intense situation, right? When you can feel calm and grounded in that tension of that interaction, trust me, she will notice and become attracted to you. Because just like the action hero, she can feel that you can handle tense situations and protect her if shit hits the fan. She might even say or do something just to test to see if you really are as cool as you seem, or if it's just a, facade.
Ew, where did you get those shoes?
And just like in the movies, the attractive hero doesn't get emotional when the woman objects to him or even insults him. He's strong, unaffected, like a rock. He never crumbles.
Look, senor, maybe in a different life.
What offended you about the offer? Surely not that I find you both beautiful and desirable.
Become as attractive as possible. We want to develop high-status masculine traits while systematically rooting out all traces of low-status behavior. The way to do this is through repeated trial and error. That is, going out and approaching women and making incremental improvements. There will be failure. There will be rejection.
Excuse me, real quick.
No.
Hold on 1 second.
No.
Wait. Rejected.
In fact, if you're not failing, then you're not pushing yourself nearly hard enough. Failures often represent a weakness in your game or in your skill. The faster that you can fail and improve, the faster you can live the life that you want. And then you'll look back and you'll thank your past self for putting in all that effort that's required for greatness. Trust me, man, I've put in the work and I still do, and it does pay off. Now, to help you out on your journey, I created a free escalation cheat sheet, because after she feels attracted to you, you have to escalate. You have to move things forward and make your move. It's filled with advanced escalation techniques that will turn a friendly, platonic interaction into a more romantic, I wanna rip your clothes off vibe. This is very useful when you're talking to a girl, but it's going nowhere. So click the link down in the description or to the right of the screen right now to get your free copy of the escalation cheat sheet. Trust me, man, you'll want to have this handy before you go out. And if you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon, because we have a lot of great videos coming out. And if you want us to help you live in person and show you how to meet and attract women and give you feedback, then make sure to check out our bootcamp schedule or get a free consultation. My name is Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and I'll see you in the next video.